Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of On His Blindness, a poem written by John Milton. John Milton is one of the greatest English poets of all time. He also served as a civil servant under Oliver Cromwell. On His Blindness is also referred as Sonnet 19 or When I Consider How My Light is Spent. Here, light means his eyesight. And Milton had written this sonnet in 1655, 3 years after he became completely blind. And actually, he was at that time marked by a brooding sense of despondency which arose out of his blindness. It was written when he was in his 44th year. We can divide the poem into two parts. In the first half of the poem, he expresses his sadness at the loss of his eyesight. He finds himself alone in this dark and wide world. God has given him the talent of writing poetry, which he feels that this gift, which is God's gift, is lying useless within. And therefore, he is expressing his unhappiness about the fact that the best part of his life would go waste without producing any work of creative importance. It is like death for him to hide his talent. He fears that God will rebuke him for not using his talent because he actually wants to serve God with this gift of writing poetry. And therefore, he grumbles against God, and he also raises the question of the justness of God's way to man in relation to his own loss of sight. He foolishly asks himself whether God demands work from him, although it is God who has made him blind. Thus, the first half of the poem reflects the poet's mood of sadness and murmuring. In the second part of the poem, he expresses his feelings of resignation and his undiminished faith in God's justice. He totally accepts submission to the will of God. His inner faith consoles him and stops his murmur. He realizes that God does not need anyone's praise or work. Those who bear the duties given by God served him best. God only wants complete faith in him. Those who patiently serve God and wait for his orders are also his true servants. Thus, the sonnet teaches us to be content with our life, and also it tells us that it is man's duty to stand in readiness to serve God without any complaint or protest. Come, let's read the poem. When I consider how my light is spent, light means how his eyesight was spent. Here, half my days in this dark world and wide, and now he is spending his life only in this dark world which is very wide. And that one talent, here that one talent refers to his talent of writing poetry, which death to hide. Now he is not able to write because he cannot see, and therefore he considers himself dead. Lodged within me useless. See, this talent is now inside me, but the talent is now dead because it is inside him, but it is useless. Though my soul more bent to serve therewith my Maker, but inside my soul wants to serve my God and present my true account, lest he returning chid. Doth God exact day labor, light denied? And he says, I want to serve God using my poetry, by writing poetry. But how can I write when I cannot see? And he's also asking, does God wants me to do work when he has taken away the light from me? That is when he has made me blind? I fondly ask, but patience to prevent that murmur soon replies, God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts, who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. So he says, when I'm asking this question within me, my mind, my heart, my soul, the God within me says that God does not need man's work or he does not need any gift. Whoever bears God in their mind and do what God bids them to do, they serve God the best. His state is kingly, thousands at his bidding speed. See, the God is ruling all over the world. So, his state is spread all over. And there are thousands of people doing all that is instructed to them by God, and post over land and ocean without rest. And these people who obey God, they run over all over the world, whether it is in land or ocean, and they work all the time without taking rest. They also serve who only stand and wait, and not only those people who are running and doing the God's duties, but he says that even the people who stand patiently and wait, they are also considered as people who serve God. And thus he ends this poem. It's a beautiful poem by Milton. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.